life is so very great, and it's great being around like-minded people like Paul McKenzie,
like Vanessa McLean. In fact, to get ahead in life, you need to associate with people like that.
And what better way to associate when someone shares the same initials as you? Max, the two Max.
The two Max, McKenzie and McLean. How uncanny!
How uncanny!
What about the makings of a good show? Isn't it?
It is. It's really. But listen, why we're really sitting? Why we're sitting here? Paul's doing a detox. And I've done the same detox. Of course we have. Yeah. I've done this detox on many occasions. The full body detox via dhealthschool.com. Yeah. And it doesn't take much for me to talk about detoxing because I'm always talking about health. And Paul heard me and he said, I want to be part of this. And
I remember asking you, and I said, Vanessa, how is it you look so well? And how is it you're promoting this product that claims to detoxify you and at the same time leave you spiritually cleansed? And I thought to myself, isn't that something I could do with? And I'm on day 12 now of this full body detox, and it's the best thing I've ever done. I think it's fantastic.
Well, you heard it from him. I've done this many times. And I'm going to tell you, if you are going to do a detox, prepare yourself. Start from in your mind, seeing yourself on this 20-day journey. It is a journey. And you know if you're going out on a day, so many things could happen on a day. You're planning to go on the bus, and you get to the bus stop, and you might have, what's happening? The bus got delayed or something happens.
Oh God, so many things happen.
And the same thing happens with this detox. Things which you're not expecting will happen. And
it's important when those things happen, those least expected things, because we can prepare, but can we ever prepare enough?
Never prepare enough.
You know, because we have some emotions that are repressed, we have emotions that are deep-seated in those organs that just pop out. So, you know, back to that bus stop, you could be stood there waiting for the bus, and all of a sudden you feel like attacking the bus driver. And there's no reason for it, it's just an emotion that needs to leave you. So that's very important.
A lot of people, when they're doing a detox, they get very emotional. I know my experience has been liver, because it holds a lot of emotion. Resentment, hatred. Here's the big thing: unforgiveness. And once you start to do the detox, a lot comes out. You might find yourself weeping. Yeah. That's a good thing because you're releasing some of those emotions that have really held you back. And that's why we do the full body. Well, one of the reasons why we do the full body detox.
I mean, talking about weeping, I found myself weeping at all the food I couldn't eat, which is amazing because it just made you realise how bad your diet was. And so by eating raw for 12 days, you know, I'm now able to look at food in a completely different way. So I'm now able to look at food for what it's going to, how it's going to nourish me, as opposed to how it's going to taste on my tongue. And so I'm in a much better place, and for that I have to give you all the thanks for that.
Well, give yourself the thanks. Give yourself the thanks because you're giving yourself an opportunity to express your true self.
Yeah.
Eating, and we always laugh about it. It's cadaver.
God,
a lot of people love to eat meat. It's a choice, so you choose what you prefer to eat. But here's what I understood, and this is how I feel since I stopped eating meat. I feel as though I am on top of the world. I used to love all the meat, the chicken and more chicken. Until I saw what they were doing with the food industry and how that's impacted our health. Even today I was talking to somebody about what happens with the chicken and how they're injected with antibiotics and how they're actually reared in these incredible, inhumane environments. And then we have them sat on our plates, we're licking our fingers. People are enjoying this death.
Oh my God, and it is death.
Yeah.
It's true death. I mean, you know, since I've started taking my plate more seriously, this is what I call it because it's the plate, it's the things I consume. You know, I've been searching and looking into the different effects of food, and I came across something really, really alarming the other day. Have you ever heard a thing called meat glue?
Tell me about that.
Now,
I've heard that terminology, but maybe I know what you're talking about.
If you get the opportunity, go onto YouTube and research meat glue. A lot of the industry's best meat has gone for a process where they get all the foul pieces of meat that they can't sell because they're too small, and they've just invented it this thing called meat glue. And what they do is they solidify this over the meat, and it actually bonds the meat back into a single piece of meat.
Am I going to throw up or what?
You will do. If you watch the video, you will absolutely throw up. And then what they do is they're able to cut that as one single piece of meat. I found that was thoroughly disgusting myself. So that's going to put me off meat for life. Yeah.
Listen, we're just talking randomly, but let's just add this one in, because this has been a highlight for both of us. A couple of weeks ago, we had an event. It was the D-Health Store Urban Kryptonite event in London. If you missed it, you missed an incredible event. What was really incredible for me was to see so many people be looking at their lives and saying, now it's time for me to change. Not just my eating, but the thoughts I have about food, and really look at food with a critical eye. What is it doing to me? What is it doing to my children? What is it doing to my family? How much longer am I going to live if I continue to eat this way?
I mean, that's a very good question. How much longer are you going to be able to live and enjoy those things that you know that make up life? I mean, for me, children make up my life. I love them to pieces, but I have to start looking at what I'm putting inside of me, and also what I'm putting inside of them. And I think far too often we kind of just skate over the facts, and the facts are that meat and other foods are killing us.
And the biggest thing is our minds. I can't emphasize that enough, because sometimes our minds are so toxic, even more so than the food that we're consuming. The thoughts that we have, they're so destructive, they're not empowering. And here's what I want to invite you to do, to start having thoughts that give life, start having thoughts that generate good things in life. I remember when I was eating these, the thoughts I had really wasn't anything to inspire this life that I now have, the life of vitality, the life that attracts wealth, the life that attracts abundance. And it all starts with little steps. Nothing happens overnight. There's just a rare percentage of people who can make that dramatic change. I always say to someone, if you're going to take this next journey, whether it be a raw food life or a vegan life, start it slowly. You know, the drug addict, when he comes off the drugs, if you don't give him something, it's likely he's going to have, what's it called, cold turkey?
Cold turkey.
See, it's always meat.
Well, he's going to eat the cold turkey. That will keep you addicted if you eat cold turkey.
But you do it in stages. Do it in stages, don't you?
You do it in stages. For me, it's been a blast, because I know that after these 20 days, for me to continue raw will be the real challenge. Because, you know, I'm probably going to have to be really realistic and say, you know, maybe 80-20. And that's probably going to be something that I'm able to manage a bit more. But for me at this stage, to say completely raw without taking those, you know, 20 days is a big step, but it's versus a lifetime's habit. And so to be realistic for me, I think maybe 80-20. And that's not 80% meat.
You could tell us anything for
chicken. No, it's not. It won't be chicken.
Why is it Jamaican people love chicken so much?
I think it's just a belief. You know, this whole thing about meat being actually good for you. You know, it's got to start from a belief that somewhere along the line, you know, meat is good for you. If you ask the average person, if you tell them I'm on a 20-day raw diet, the first thing they come out with is, what, no meat? And it's as if meat is the staple part of every single meal, but the body does nothing with meat.
As opposed to saying, what? Great healthy food.
Exactly.
This is
no chicken.
No chicken. But to understand, to get the full amount of protein in your daily consumption, you would need to eat the whole animal. To get the full protein value that was it the RDA saying we need to be healthy? But here's the great thing. To get real protein, you can get it from plant-based products. And one of the things a lot of people use moringa, that's a fantastic one. You've got all your sea vegetation, you've got your kelp, you've got your spirulina, you've got your... There's so many of them. I don't want to go into all of them now, because I want to do a video when I can speak specifically on each one of those areas, because it's something that I've been doing.
Because Vanessa, you need to tell these people the importance of those, you know, the ingredients you just mentioned there. They've all got separate health benefits, haven't they? Each one of them do. I mean, you've got some food that work on specific organs in your body, and I'm not sure many people people know this, but you know, your body is a very complex yet simple organism. And if you look after it, what it needs, it can serve you for
years and years.
Years.
We spoke about it. You just mentioned the word service, and a lot of us have cars, and we spend so much money on our cars. I mean, for example, you've got a lovely car. We don't have to say what it is, but no. But I mean, I mean, a lot of people walk in to have their car serviced, and you're thinking, all right, it's be £100 bill, and before they've walked out, they're handing over 500, 600, 700, 800 pounds, and they're not blinking their eye. They might have a little curse, but they still hand it over. But the most precision-built instrument that we have, our body, what happens?
When it comes to us, and it's strange you should say that, because I've just collected that same said car from a service that cost me a fortune. And, you know, just going there and hearing the price was a little bit of a shock, but I paid it. And, you know, looking at some of the times in my life where I've considered whether or not I was worth that value, internally, you know, what I put inside me was worth that value, I could honestly put my hand up and say, before I took on, you know, understanding this detox and working with it, I would have easily paid that car. I would have paid it, not an issue. And I would have thought, let me pay that car and then go have some McDonald's. But now I'm thinking, okay, let me pay for that car. However, I still know that my body's fully nourished. So it felt really good this time around. And next year when the service comes, I might miss that. Very expensive. However, yeah, Vanessa's right. So we put more into our cars and our houses than we do into reinvest in ourselves, and it's very important.
We've got to invest all around, and we're talking about detox specifically. And if you're treating the detox like you're treating your car, it's important that you have that yearly service and the seasonal services. And this is a great time of year to have a detox as a service to get rid of all that gunk that's inside of you. Believe me, better out than in, my mother always used to tell me.
Oil change. Grab an oil change now. It's very, very important. I think everybody should do it.
Definitely. We've got 9 great months ahead of us. You've got 9 great months ahead of you. Let's start. And I'm saying let's start because I'm not saying you start. We're here to support you on this journey. Let's start by, first of all, getting our minds in the right place. Why would I want to detox my body? Why do I want to create a new reality? Why must things change now? That's the big question. What do you reckon?
I think anybody that's considering a full body detox, or in fact anything to do with their health, the time is now. You know, something we're not given forever. Some of us become ill, you know, instant. Some of us become ill and die before we even lived. And so, isn't it a great opportunity to actually, while you're in good health, to actually look at a way of maintaining that good health, other than destroying it with, you know, foods that have no substance or no nourishing properties whatsoever. So the time is now to get on board and look after what you put inside your body. You know, if you want to live an experienced life, and I've always said this to Vanessa, and we always have this talk, I always say, forget about making millions out there. Imagine the feeling of feeling like a millionaire inside. That's where truth, wealth, and foundation starts inside, and then it works itself out.
What can I say on that? It starts on the inside, knowing that inside you there is a treasure. Inside you there's something special that the world needs to see. You haven't seen your best yet. You haven't seen your best yet. The best is yet to come. But when the best comes, it always starts with a plan. So think about, what do I need to do to get to my next best level? What do I need to clear out to become the next best version of myself? Because you can, and we're here to support that. I am Vanessa McLean of It's in Your Story. Your story matters, and I want to hear that transitional story. This is where I was before I heard your voice, Vanessa, and Paul's voice just reminded me that I am a powerful person beyond my imagination. I can do great things.
And you have. And you can do great things too. And this is a really good opportunity to tune in to our future broadcast, because we will be addressing topics such as this, topics that can change your life and make you the person that you most want to be.
It doesn't take much, but you decide you're not going to do anything. It's going to take a lot. here's one of the things my mentor used to say. Wherever you find yourself, at some point in time, you made an appointment to be there. If you fall off the saddle, Art Doak says, get back on the saddle when you fall. Because Mr. Brown always says, if you can look up, then you most certainly can get up. We're moving on. We're looking up.
I've been Paul McKenzie. This is Vanessa.
It's in your story.